Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
All right, folks, what is on your mind today? What have you been thinking about all weekend? It is time to get it off your chest. Hi, it's Brian Perez, and this is New Life Live. Licensed marriage and family therapist Dr. Alice Benton joins us, as does Marc Cameron, who is also an LMFT, not to be confused with member FDIC. Whether you recently had a confrontation, or there's a sexual integrity issue, or you had to confront someone about their sexual integrity, let's talk about it. 1-800-229-3000 is our number to call for the next 2 hours. And Mark, what's on your mind to get us started?
Well, recently my wife and I went to the Getty Villa with some friends. So that's nestled on the Pacific in the Pacific Palisades. It's beautiful, beautiful view. But if you don't know the story is as grand as the view. J. Paul Getty was one of America's wealthiest oil tycoons. But he was also an ancient artifact collector and art collector, and he actually built such a vast collection that he filled his villa and a museum with all of this stuff, and it's open for free for anybody who wants to go view it. But he wasn't just a collector of art, he was also a collector of wives. He was married 5 times, divorced 5 times, and between those 5 wives had 5 kids. However, he had a strained relationship with all of them. Famously, his grandson got kidnapped in the 1970s, and initially he refused to pay the ransom for the grandson. So he had this ability to hold on to material things, but he didn't have an ability to hold on to relationships. And so if I were to venture a guess, I would say that he was an avoider. Somebody who was unable to form these deep connections, and probably because he didn't have those experiences growing up. Now, I'm not here to beat up on him, but just to kind of observe that dynamic that avoiders struggle to connect emotionally because it's not modeled for them in their families of origins. And so they hold on to things that do feel stable for them, like possessions or achievements or knowledge, rather than finding comfort and relief in relationships. Now, one of the most common complaints in marriage therapy is my spouse doesn't want to connect with me, or my spouse doesn't seem like they actually need me. And oftentimes, if you're married to an avoider, it's not because they're holding out, it's because they don't know. The ability to form these lasting emotional bonds, it's not something that we're born with or without. All babies have feelings and they have a need for closeness. But if those needs aren't met consistently, then eventually we learn to stop expecting that connection. But here's the good news. If your family of origin did not teach that to you, it can still be learned, but we have to first admit that this is a deficit for us and commit to grow. Now, Getty's greatest legacy, it could have been, rather than collecting, it could have been learning to connect. And he could have passed that on to his children, because attachment is actually a gift that we pass on. And it can either be our greatest legacy or it could be a big burden. So if you want to learn how to connect more and you got a question about that, give us a call today.
Yeah. Alice?
It stands out to me, Mark, that you said oftentimes people don't connect well because of ignorance. And yet we assume, oh, you're doing this maliciously to me. You're withholding from me. But if your spouse is a decent person, it probably is more likely out of ignorance. They just don't know how versus intentional. So giving the benefit of the doubt, assuming the best in your spouse or your family member, it helps to get to the bottom of this much better than accusation, which just turns into argument.
And it's so good to know that you can learn all this stuff now. No matter where you are in life, no matter how old you are, you can learn how to leave that great legacy for the future. Taking a quick break, and then we'll be back with your calls. Karen, you are first on New Life Live. Stand by.
The Life Recovery Conference is online Saturday, October 4th. It isn't just for those struggling with addiction. It's for anyone ready to break free from destructive patterns and build a foundation for lasting change. Our expert speakers will equip you with biblical tools to face life's toughest challenges and find real transformation. You'll walk away with practical strategies to overcome anxiety, shame, and relational struggles, plus biblical wisdom for grief, finances, and identity. You'll also gain tools to recognize unhealthy patterns and clear action steps to choose wisdom every day. The Life Recovery Conference is for everyone. Whether you're just beginning your journey, looking for fresh tools, supporting a loved one, or leading others, you'll find hope, direction, and encouragement. Change starts with one step. Register today for the Choosing Wisdom New Life Recovery Conference at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
The easiest way to listen on the go is on the New Life app. If you haven't downloaded it yet, we highly implore you to do so. It's available for your iPhone or your Android. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call us today, and we're going to begin our time on the phones with Karen, listening in Allentown, Pennsylvania on WBYN. Welcome, Karen, to New Life Live.
Thank you, and thank you for getting my name right. Everyone calls me Karen, so I appreciate that. I was okay with Karen. I'm like, if they call me Karen, that's fine. Long-time listener, long-time supporter. I love you guys. Thanks for all that you do. I'm a little nervous. But so I have a situation, that I want your input on. I unfortunately have a very sick brother, and we're taking a family vacation in a few weeks, and we're all staying in the same house. And my nephew, a few months ago, him and his girlfriend moved in together, and I kind of am doing this whole thing, and I'm just debating whether I think they're both coming, him and his girlfriend, and I'm just debating whether to say anything, have a conversation about, no shacking up while you're here, or do I just let it go? I don't know what to do. I could always, my mom is going, that's his grandmother, and I could always blame it on Nana, say, hey, listen, Nana doesn't really, but I don't necessarily want to take the easy way out. I just don't know what to do. I'm thinking now, am I making a bigger deal than it is? And I don't want to offend him. I love him. He's easily offended. I don't want to jeopardize our relationship. Mm-hmm. So I'm just looking for some tips and input.
How old is he?
He's 25.
Okay. Alice, what would you say?
Same age.
What is your relationship like with your nephew in general?
Oh, good. I mean, we have a good relationship overall. Although I know, overall it's really, really good. Now, there have been some things that have come up, and it seems like when some things are said, then he kind of he backs away. He'll pull away. And I love him and his girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, well, even if they're twins in the same room, is that okay? You know what I mean? Or do I just, wherever people pop their bags, they pop their bags, you know what I mean? And do their thing. I don't know.
And is he a believer?
He says he is.
Mm-hmm.
He says he is, although sometimes I question with it, his life choices.
And are you financially responsible for the home that you all will be staying in?
Yes. This was my idea. I wanted to do this. And it's for a few days that we're doing it. Yeah.
I appreciate that your conscience is pricked, and yet you also want to protect relationship. And if your conscience is not easy about this, then that is likely the Holy Spirit's nudge for you to say something, which will be awkward. I wouldn't want to do it either if I were in your shoes. But what's more important to you, and you get to decide, do I want my conscience to be clear that I've done what I think God is telling me to, or do I want to make sure I don't upset this couple? So your willingness to potentially let them know, so glad to have you here. I'm going to have you sleep in different rooms. I know that might be awkward and how old-fashioned, but we're all believers, so I want to stick by my beliefs. That may be exactly the kind of ministering to them that they need. They might need to be a little shooken up by a fellow believer who's willing to point out a tough truth. And if you do it with love, with grace, a little bit lighthearted, maybe even we're all imperfect. It's not like I'm not a sinner, but I do want this for this household and for this family time together. How would it be for you? How would it feel to say something like that to him?
Well, I was thinking of having the conversation beforehand because I don't want a lot of drama when we're down there, and you know what I mean. So I'm actually thinking of if I am going to address it, it's going to be before this, and I would call him and talk to him about it because, my family can be very, you know what I mean. People can get just very, reactive very quickly. And I don't want, you know what I mean? I want this to be a nice time. And that's why I was thinking if I am going to have this conversation, I would have it beforehand.
That's a great idea, to be proactive and one-on-one. Because our mistake so often is we wait till the last minute, and then it does become unnecessary drama. How do you imagine your nephew will respond if you do this over the phone as you're considering it?
I don't know. I'm really kind of scared to, honestly. You know what I mean? I'm and you know what? No one else other than my mom and I. There's no one else in our family that would bat an eye at this. In fact, they'd probably be like, "Oh, why aren't those two in the same room?" My niece might say. You know what I mean? So then it might stir up. Oh, well, and then if those two talk, you know what I mean? It could very easily, and I don't want that for this trip. So maybe that's my answer. Because like I said,
each way gives you a price to pay. And so do you prefer the price of avoiding all drama? And you get to pick that. This is your choice. This is your trip. Or do you choose the risk of the drama and have a clear conscience and stand by your beliefs? And either choice is understandable, but each one will cost you something.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
I was going to ask you that, Karen, what his parents think, and it sounds like you gave us that answer that they're not really bothered about it.
Yeah, my brother. I know originally when my nephew lived with my brother, if she was to come over the house, he wouldn't allow that. But since they moved in, I know my brother goes to visit. Do you know what I mean? My brother wants a good relationship with his son, their relationship has been very stressed. So, so I really, and I don't feel safe talking to anyone in my family other than my mom. I could probably talk to my mom about it. What are your thoughts on this? You know what I mean? And she'd probably say I was the old-fashioned one. But anyway, no, I don't know. No, probably not. She'd probably agree with me, but I think she would maybe, be concerned with rocking the boat. And like I said, I think if people were to notice that they weren't in the same room, well, why aren't they in the same room? You know what I mean? So, I see what you're saying. So either way, I'm going to,
I think
going to be something that weighs on my conscience.
I think you've got good instincts in the sense of if you are going to have the conversation, have it proactively ahead of time. I don't think that, it's different. You're staying in a house together. It's not like it's your house. And you feel like this is a violation of your house rules, and maybe this speaks something different to your kids. You guys are going somewhere neutral. And so I think what I would think about is what's going to do the greater good here. I don't think that you're sinning or contributing to what their sin by allowing them to sleep in the same room in any way. Is that what it feels like for you? Is that why?
Well, I guess. Yeah, I guess because I'm the one that's, is, brought this together, is, basically paying, you know what I mean? I got the house, you know what I mean? So I guess that's why it's weighing on my conscience.
Well, I think what you could do is you could just share from your perspective, from your feelings, what's happening inside of you with him, if he's open to that, if you feel like it can be a productive discussion. And then I think what I would do is I would give them the choice, because I'm sure he's going to see it as, well, hey, I'm an adult, I'm 25, we live together, no one else is bothered by it. Because you want to remain a safe person that can be able to speak into their life. You don't want to use this you don't want this to become an incident where now Auntie Karen is old-fashioned and we can't really speak to her, and now you become incredible. So
Okay,
I think,
gotcha.
like Alice is saying, I think there could be a cost either way. I would say think about what's going to do the greater good. I don't think you're contributing to anything.
Okay. And one last question. So as far as I haven't visited them since they've moved in together. Now, as far as that goes, like, if I would do that, is that like condoning, what they're doing, or like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, what did Jesus do? Did Jesus go to tax collectors' homes, prostitutes' homes,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
He
Yes.
went
Yes.
there, and he was there, and he healed people, and he said that a doctor comes for the sick, not for the well. And think about what Jesus said too. After he healed people, he said to them, okay, go and sin no more. Do you think he really expected that they were never going to sin again?
Right. No,
he
of
didn't.
course not.
What he wanted to do is wanted to show love, and he wanted to say, "Hey, this is the way." And invite. It was an invitation. It wasn't a condemnation that Jesus gave.
Now, in the case of this
'Cause I
couple, though,
haven't-
go ahead. I'm sorry, Karen.
Oh, go ahead. No. Just that I haven't. They're like, oh, come down any time, and I just haven't, made it down that way. And I just thought, well, since I'm on the phone with you, I'd ask you your thoughts on that also. But I like that. I like that. Yeah, because I don't want them to push me away. And just when there have been little things that come up, he pulls away, she seems to pull away a little bit, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, you want to remain that voice in their life, especially if there's no other family members who are steering them toward Christian values.
I rarely
Right,
disagree with Mark, but I disagree a little bit right now.
And that's okay. That's,
Oh, no, I'm going to be in conflict.
Even this might be confusing for you, and then you, Karen, have to decide. But because you're paying for it, I do think you have some spiritual skin in the game in this one instance. And it makes me think of the Bible verse that if we're doing something without faith, meaning we're doing it with doubts, then that does lead us down a path. I think the Bible's verse even says when we're sinning. If we're doing something without faith, then we're sinning. So if your conscience is conflicted about this, I vote on the side of saying something.
I was going to bring up the
And you know
verse where, because real quick, you said, yes, Jesus did hang out with sinners, prostitutes, etc. But then there's the verse in 1 Corinthians, I think, and in this case, it's Karen's nephew who claims he's a believer. So here's somebody who's living in sin who claims they're a believer. So where do you draw that line?
You know what? I engaged in premarital sex as a Christian. And I so wish someone had gently come to me to say, hey, I love you, and I love your partner, and I want to get to know them, and tell me all about them. Someone who came to me with gentle curiosity, but then also nudged me with, I know you're a believer. How are you doing with living together? And I think that would have really served me if it had come enveloped in love. Now, it might have created a rupture at the time because I also didn't want to hear that at that time. But I needed to hear it from a very loving person. And I didn't get that.
Right.
And I think it was to my detriment that I didn't.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, my gosh, I've done that too. And you know what I mean? I'm a sinner too. And that's why I feel like, is this, I'm just struggling with it. But the easy way out would to say, hey, Nana would prefer. Do you know what I mean? But
Yes, for sure.
So.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I'm not disagreeing with Alice on that end, and I do think people need to confront us in love. What I'm saying to you is that I don't think that I personally don't think it would be a sin for you to not say anything. And I'm saying think about the greater good, how you can remain a light in their life.
All right, Karen, just for calling in, we're going to send you a copy of Doing Life with Your Adult Nephews. No, actually, it's called Doing Life with Your Adult Children, but it will apply to this situation as well. So thanks for calling in today to New Life Live at 1-800-229-3000. Now we'll talk to Dee in Allentown, Pennsylvania. You must be Karen's neighbor. You guys are like right there, both in Allentown. We're number one in Allentown today. I love it. How can we help you, Dee?
Hi, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Yeah, so I have a quick question. I have an 83-year-old dear friend who has been receiving Christian counseling. I'm a Christian as well. And I kind of feel like the counselor is leading her astray. The counselor is telling her that she is going to receive physical healing from her age, physical maladies, none of which are life-threatening, while she's on this earth. And so my friend is 83. she's struggling physically, and she's believing this counselor, and she's saying, I just need to be strong in my faith that this is going to happen, and that I'm going to be healed, and I'm going to be able to do all these things that everybody else is doing for me right now. And I've had a conversation with the counselor, and the counselor firmly believes in what she's telling my friend, and I don't really know how to address that.
That you're the kind of friend, Dee, that has already had a conversation with the counselor? Oh, you are a loyal, good, protective friend. Incredible.
Thank you.
We're
Thank you.
coming to a break, but we will have a good answer for you on the other side.
Yeah, stay on the phone, Dee. We'll come back to you in just a little bit here on New Life Live. My name is Brian Perez, here with Dr. Alice Benton and Marc Cameron. We're taking your calls for 2 hours today. We would love to talk to you about whatever it is you're going through. Maybe it's a situation with family or friends. Whatever the case might be, we're going to talk to you at 1-800-229-3000. If not this hour, then next hour. So grab an open line while there's still time before the phone lines fill up. 1-800-229-3000.
Every marriage faces seasons of difficulty, and whether you're working through betrayal or feeling emotionally distant or simply just roommates, know this, you're not alone and there's hope. Renewing Love is 90 minutes. I want you to invest just this 1.5 hours. We're going to talk about how to navigate seasons of distance and disconnection with grace. We're going to give you practical steps to begin rebuilding trust after betrayal or hurt. We're going to teach you how to invite God into your marriage for healing and renewal. We're going to give you simple tools to strengthen communication and emotional connection, and steps to move forward with hope, faith, and lasting love. And it's not just information, it's an invitation to heal, to reconnect, to trust again, and discover that God can make all things new, even your marriage.
The Renewing Love Marriage webinar is Tuesday evening, September 16th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go online to newlife.com. 1-800-639-5433. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do, because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
If you're living there in Allentown, give us a call. I mean, everybody else in Allentown's calling us today. We've got our first caller, Corinne, and now Dee is on the phone. Anywhere you're listening, call us at 1-800-229-3000. You still with us, Dee?
I am, yes.
All right. So, Mark?
Okay, so you've spoken to your friend's counselor, and the counselor is telling your friend, who's 83 years old, that she's going to be healed from her aging afflictions that are happening. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you believe she's giving her the wrong advice. Is there a particular illness that she has? Does she have cancer or something like that, and the counselor is telling her that? And then what's the counselor's rationale?
She has arthritis. She's in generally good health, but physically she has arthritis and like some spinal issues that make moving for her very uncomfortable and very painful. So her health isn't generally good, except for her physical structure is painful. And yeah, it's like the hard thing for me is like she hasn't left her apartment in 9 months. She hasn't been dressed that I've seen her in 9 months. She stays in her pajamas, she stays in her apartment, and she just keeps telling me, I just need to have faith, and God's going to heal me, and I'm going to be able to work for the Lord. And I'm like, but you can work for the Lord right now. You don't have to wait till you're healed to do that, you know?
Is this a licensed counselor, or is this a biblical counselor through the church?
She is. She's
Which
a
one?
licensed counselor.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, I like I said, and she's saying that she has prayed to the Lord and that the Lord has laid this on her heart, that this was going to happen.
Your friend, not the
But
counselor.
she's also, no, the counselor.
The
not
counselor
my
said
friend.
that.
My
Okay.
friend has not received any kind of direction from the Lord directly.
But the counselor
But
is
she's
telling her that.
believing the counselor.
Wow.
Correct.
Wow. And so what's your
And the
question?
counselor said,
Go ahead.
so my question is, like, how do I handle this? Because I feel like I'm in conflict with the counselor and I told the counselor, I said, look, I understand you're trying to be positive with her, but her life is limited and she's not living, she's barely existing right now. And she's holding out in this hope that she's going to just get better. And so she's just living for better instead of right now.
What does
And
your
the
friend think of the
you know,
counselor? Like, is she, might she be willing?
Thinks the world of her. She thinks she's got a direct connection to the Lord. Like she believes she's a prophetess, and she has got this direct connection to Him, and whatever she says is God.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, instead of whether she's healed or not, she can still live for the now. Correct. But what you're saying is that your friend is just waiting and waiting and waiting in her apartment, not doing anything because she's just sitting there waiting on the healing. So, that is challenging. And so I think it may come down to asking some thoughtful questions. I mean, of course, we all, when we're sick, when we have afflictions, of course, we all want the healing. We all want the best outcome possible. So it sounds like you're not going to make more headway with the counselor. You might want, I would suggest reaching out to your friend and asking her, what she can do now in her state as she waits on healing. And also, how long is she willing to wait and not do anything before she continues, meaningful connections with others and engaging in relationship and community. And that might be a way to say, okay, so you're willing to wait 3 months, are you willing to wait 4 months? Because you can still be her friend, but time is going to still keep going on, and time can be your friend in this scenario, that when you get to that point, you can say, hey, you're still waiting and it still hasn't come, and I'm concerned for you because you're isolated. And I don't know if the Lord wants you to be isolated.
Yeah. Alice?
Dee, with your description of your friend, I'm getting pretty concerned for her safety. And so I want you to think about whether or not you would ever call Adult Protective Services, because she's depressed, she's isolated, she's not even taking care of herself. And I'm going to say something I don't think I've ever said on air before, but especially if this therapist is kind of claiming she's a prophetess, I'm worried that her approach is actually putting your friend in danger. And so as licensed professionals, there's a board that we need to submit to, and complaints can be submitted to the board about our treatment of people. This is one of the rare situations where I'd have you think and pray about it. I might tell the counselor first, I'm disturbed. I'm seeing my friend deteriorate because she's waiting for your prophecy to come true. If you're not willing to step away from this, to reconsider what you're doing, I need to call Adult Protective Services, and I intend to lodge a complaint with your board. And so I need you to take that seriously and let me know what you're going to do about it. This is for my friend's safety. I do want Mark's opinion, though, because what I'm saying is pretty extreme.
No, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, it depends on the detriment that this is having on your friend, because we all maintain agency to do what we want to do. But if she has this hold over her, I mean, really, she's practicing out of the lane of therapy here. This is not therapy. To say I'm a prophet and I'm prophesying over you, and someone's going to you for therapy, then there's a concern. It's different if somebody's going to you for biblical counsel and spiritual direction. But when you're claiming to be doing therapy, and this is the information that you're giving, I'm with Alice, that this is practicing outside of her license.
We clinicians have to list on our website, in our office, who you can call on the board to lodge a complaint against us. And so that should be readily available for you to be able to find out.
Given that she is this age, she is among a vulnerable population.
Yeah, I know. And that's my concern as well. And I also know that she has named this woman in her will.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
So that is something different here.
That
Whole different conversation.
adds
Yes.
to what we're saying.
Yes.
And confirms what we're saying.
Then I would 100% call the board if she has named her in a will.
In fact, I might call right now during the break. No, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. But man, that is nuts. Okay, we'll be back here on New Life Live.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Orange County, California, September 26th through the 28th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEWLIFE and the discount code NLL. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Dee, just for calling in today to New Life Live, we're going to send you a copy of Boundaries. Thank you so much for your concern for your friend, too. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call. And don't forget the Choosing Wisdom Online Life Recovery Conference. It's happening on 10/4, good buddy, with early bird pricing till the end of next week. We're talking a dozen different topics from a dozen different presenters. It's going to be dynamic. Dr. Alice, you're going to be one of the presenters. What's your topic again?
Anxiety.
Anxiety, that's right.
And we're going to be breaking down 3 of the main forms of anxiety that we see so frequently today, which is generalized anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and obsessive-compulsive disorder. And we're going to be talking about how, in the modern age, how things like screen use affect anxiety disorders, because it can be to the benefit, it can help calm you down, it can be a good digital escape, or it can be to the detriment, especially with obsessive-compulsive disorder. We're, in fact, seeing symptoms of OCD in people that would not normally have been diagnosed with it, but it's sort of as if we're pulled to obsessive checking and scrolling with social media. So we'll be talking about all of that and what to do about it.
Very good. All right. So you can get registered at newlife.com/events, or you can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Again, it's happening on October 4th, and we would love to see you there. It's online. No need to go anywhere. We're coming to you. We're going to knock on your door and say, you ready? It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's on a Saturday. It's going to be great. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. And here is Wallace in Evansville, Indiana, listening on Pure FM. Thank you, Wallace, for calling in today.
Thank you. And I listen to y'all every day at work.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
I was going to. I had a question about my son. He's pretty much grown now. He's out on his own. He has 2 children. I am concerned about my grandchildren because he was raised in a home. You know, we went to church. Me and my wife are both chaplains. He was raised in a home full of love. At 16, he broke out and, went out on his own. And now that he has children, I'm not sure how to say, he is not raising them like he was raised. He yells at the kids. He has no patience with them. His two baby mothers, they're estranged from him because he's been past couple of months. He's been trying to play both of them against each other and running back and forth.
Wow.
So me and my wife have been in a almost like counting with both of his baby mothers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to them, back on the right track, because the way he treats them right now, he dogs them out, he cusses them, treats them super bad, and he's never seen any of this at home. And I don't know how to talk to him about trying to raise his children so that the kids won't rebel against him later on, and so that nobody else in the family will rebel. Because in the past couple of weeks, he's shown this attitude or this behavior at family functions.
Okay.
It started at my wife's mother's birthday party. He kind of invited his first daughter's mother, her to the party. He keeps saying he doesn't want to be with her, but he invites her to the party. Then he gets to the party and he gets to treating her wrong, and he gets mad at us because a couple of people witnessed him punching her and hitting her, and we're like, "Hey, what are you doing?
Wow.
You don't do that."
What would you guys say?
And we're telling him this, and he's like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But he continues to do it. He cusses them, and then when he gets away from us, he, like I said, he treats them bad. And
Wallace, you are so rightly concerned, and it's gotten to the level of physical. Mm-hmm. And so I'm so proud of you that you're calling in to ask what to do about this, because those children are, if they're not in danger of viewing that domestic violence or receiving physical abuse themselves from the dad, it's headed in that direction. And you see that freight train crashing. Do you know, is your son struggling with substance use?
We think that he is going back towards the substance use.
He has in the past.
About 3 or 4 years. Yes, it's been when he turned 16. He went out and got a job, and some of his friends introduced him to all kinds of different drugs. So he was out there in the street taking a little bit of everything.
And why did he get sober ever? He had a couple years of sobriety?
He got sober right after that because we dropped everything we were doing for him. We wouldn't help him with his rent. We wouldn't help him with food, none of that. And we were like, you're going to have to learn on your own. So he got to the point where I guess it was, he was feeling the stress of life is lifing. So
are you guys still financially supporting him?
No.
Okay.
No, we haven't supported him for about 4 years now.
Yeah, I think this is very concerning, especially with the physical abuse that you're saying. If he's not hitting the children now, it sounds like it would only be a matter of time before that happens. So this is highly concerning. I would be having conversations with your grandchildren's mothers and speaking to them about your support for them. And I would be encouraging them to either call the police, especially if he's hitting them, or filing temporary restraining orders. Because if this is allowed to continue, it's already out of control. It's going to get even more out of control and escalate. And these relationships ultimately are not going to last. And you want to be able to also maintain a relationship with your grandchildren when that does happen. And so, again, it's also that it's the right thing to do to support the people who are being abused.
Alice, any thoughts?
Wallace, because he has gotten sober in the past and it happened due to loss, you helped him hit a bottom previously. You may have to be part of helping him hit a bottom again currently. And that might involve calling Child Protective Services if you believe he's being physically abusive in front of the kids even. That is considered reportable. And that the loss of perhaps access to his children, or it may have to become supervised access. But Child Protective Services also brings along resources. So it could link your son back into the help that he perhaps received before and needs to receive again. I'd have you think and pray about letting him know, son, we're seeing escalating behavior and we will be intervening, especially if we think the children are in danger. If you will submit right now to rehab, going right now into rehab, and then you'll continue in treatment, then we might be able to wait on calling Child Protective Services. But if you will not submit to treatment, we are worried about the safety of our grandchildren. Now, obviously, that's a very risky conversation to have, but it may be for the best interest of the relationship long term. But you also can call Child Protective Services anonymously and make a report, and they will go in and investigate, and it's up to them to decide if the children are at risk or not.
What do you think, Wallace?
I agree with you on that, but we had tried the protective services before. We ended up taking custody of my granddaughter. And they recently, like I said, we had her from 4 months old until just recently, a few months ago.
Okay.
And she's like 3, she just turned 4 yesterday.
So it's been that bad. It's been that bad in the past, which makes it all that much more likely that it is that bad again. And I'm sure you're exhausted. If they became involved again, CPS, would you be willing to take your grandkids another time?
I want to, but I'm not sure if I can, because at this age, like I said, my wife is disabled. She's got a lot of health issues that are going wrong with her. She's got 2 different traits of sickle cell. She's got rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic disc. They just found tumors in her neck.
So it's difficult. But
about cancer.
And did you take your grandkids because the mother couldn't take care of them because she wouldn't leave your son? Is that why you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
so so they need mom.
First.
So they need mom. They need one safe parent. So that's where I would focus on helping your grandchildren's mothers get to safety and supporting them, because it sounds like the kids can be with them if that person is safe.
And even if you can't be the ones to take care of them, whether there's another family member or a foster parent, which I know is so painful, but if they remain with your son, their relationship with all of you is so likely to be damaged. Their likelihood of using substances themselves is so high. So we know it's an awful risk to take. But in the long run, I believe it would be a better risk for you to take.
Wallace, we're going to send you a copy of Doing Life with Your Adult Children just for calling in to New Life Live today. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back with more of your phone calls. And we're here for another hour today, 1-800-229-3000.
I became aware that my husband had had an affair. He was viewing porn on the computer. I was totally unaware of anything like sex addiction. Through the workshop, I truly believe my soul has been restored. The workshop educated me about what sex addiction was. It also gave me courage. I learned how to stand up for myself. Without a doubt, it was the most significant thing that I did.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
That workshop is where I found the tools and the people to heal from this most heartbreaking thing of my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And a quick shout out to Pastor Douglas, who's watching us in Kenya, and to Rowan, who is watching us in Pakistan. That is amazing. Thank you so much for writing in and watching, and for letting everyone there in your area know about New Life Live. You know, when you support New Life with your financial gifts, you're supporting all the ways New Life offers help, like the New Life Live radio program and podcast heard all over the world. Here's what Ursula let us know about how what she learns on the show makes a difference in her life. Thank you for your life-giving program. I learned a lot from the often heartbreaking stories and struggles from others, and learned especially to be more assertive, less anxious, less reactive, more reflective of my responses, less judgmental in my thoughts. I like the humility that shines through you. Thank you, Ursula. The human world, it's a mess, but you can have an impact on it when you make a gift, large or small, one time or once a month. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE, text NLM to 28950, or visit newlife.com. God bless you for whatever you can do. Let's talk to Kim, who is one of our Club New Life members. Hey, Kim, thanks for calling in today from Arlington, Virginia, and for listening on WAVA.
How are you today?
Doing well, thanks. How can we help you?
Sure. Well, I'm having some conflicts with my daughter-in-law, and I don't know how to respond to her. I tend to avoid conflict, so I just let her talk and didn't really defend myself in anything she had to say. I mean, some of the things I am guilty of, but she threatened me with withholding grandchildren that they don't even have yet. And that really, kind of got my dander up. So just to give you a little background, last year my son came out and said that he had a porn addiction. And so they came over to the house to share that information with me, and wanted to know if I had been that way, what might have led him down this path and stuff like this. And so he started to share about, and his father and I are divorced, and I am remarried, how he had this, in his early teens, kind of had this diaper fetish. Well, I guess he was masturbating into these diapers, and I knew about it. I wasn't really sure. He was also having terrible separation anxieties. Anyway, sent him down to my older sister, and I told her about it and said just to kind of watch out for it. And she said, "Oh, it's just a phase. Just let him go through it. Don't worry about it." So he comes out and shares this with us. And so she said, and I said, well, I kind of knew about that. And then the other day when we were talking, she said, I lost a lot of respect for you when you said that. So what brought this whole issue up was, I should have done something about it then, but I just kind of let it go.
So what's your main question for us today?
So I went in their house the other day. They were out of town, and I did have permission to go in. And I saw that their plants out front needed to be watered. And so I'm like, oh, where's the watering can? I'm running around looking for the watering can because I was in a hurry. I really didn't want to be there very long. And I walked in with my shoes on, and they don't like shoes in the house. But sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But I walked into the house, had my shoes on. I was in a hurry. I was trying to fill up the watering can at the kitchen sink. And it's really stuffy in here because they're out of town. I said, they're coming back later today. I'll just open a couple windows. It's a beautiful day. It'll air out the house a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So she was upset that I opened the windows.
Okay.
And that I guess I walked across the rug.
With your shoes
on.
on.
Have a little area rug with my shoes on.
And did you go in to water their plants? I mean, is that you said you had permission to go, so you went over there. Did they ask you, can you come and water our plants while we're away?
No, they did not ask me to water the plants.
Okay, so they didn't know that you were going over there.
They did know I was going. I was going over to borrow a power tool.
Oh, so you were going. Okay, so they did know you were going over there.
So
for
they
purpose.
knew I was going to be over
got
there,
it.
and I had to ask when I was over there. I was like, I don't want to have to go through the house and open the garage and close the garage, go back through the house. I asked them for the code to the garage door, but they didn't respond. So then I had to go through the house. And when I went by the front door, their plants out front were like so thirsty. And when they first moved into that house, and this house is my parents' house, so I grew up sometime in that house.
Okay, so what's your main question for us, though, Kim?
So she was saying to me, the other day, and she comes to me and like when other people are around, and she's thought about it, and I haven't. So she comes to me and she says, if I can't trust you with the small things, how am I going to trust you with the big things, like when we have children?
Okay.
And I feel like she's threatening me. And I didn't mean any harm. I didn't mean any harm.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to help out.
What would you guys say to Kim?
Oh, Kim, this is tough because it feels like you're being falsely accused, although you also humbly said, sometimes I am guilty. But a lot of the things your daughter-in-law says feel like an unfair exaggeration. Why can't you just settle down, see the good intention that you have, and accept that? And I would understand if that's your position. I think that if you want to maintain good relationship with her, strong humility is your best strategy. And that strong humility means proactively taking responsibility for what was your fault or what was your influence on your son. I mean, I'm sure your daughter-in-law is devastated that he has this pornography issue, and it dates so long back. And it's not your fault that he has a pornography issue, but it is tragic that you didn't probably know. You probably didn't know what to do about it. But even when we're guilty out of ignorance, we still have a role in that. And so I'd ask you to go back to her with all the things you know you had influence in and let her know, I've thought about this and I'm so sorry that my actions negatively impacted you. I want to rebuild trust with you. And would you let me know what are little ways I can rebuild trust? Because I want you to be able to trust me with the grandkids too.
Yeah, I agree with Alice here, Kim. I'm not sure if she was actually threatening to withhold future grandchildren from you with that comment, but I can see how you could have taken it that way. And so, yeah, I think I just agree with what Alice just said here. I don't want to repeat everything that she said, but I think if you're more open to, first of all, listen and hear them out and say, okay, how do we work towards strengthening our relationship, then that gives you opportunity to share what your concerns are, but you may clarify her position on these things because I think you're interpreting from what she's saying, and maybe it could be that she's not saying certain things that you're hearing.
We do have to be the sacrificial lamb sometimes, Kim, in order to protect relationship, because you're probably getting spillover from the way your son has hurt her, the way your ex-husband hurt them, and the way her parents have hurt her. You're probably getting more than what really belongs to you. But if, like with Christ's example, if you will take more than what belongs to you by being humble, by being silent sometimes when she accuses you, and by looking for what am I truly guilty of and admit it, that will protect your relationship with her.
Got a recommendation from the newlife.com store to send to Kim?
Probably Jimsburg. doing life with your adult children.
All right. That's on its way to you there in Arlington, Virginia. Thank you, Kim, for calling in today to New Life Live. Sharon, Julie, Lisa, and everyone else who wants to talk to Dr. Alice Benton and Marc Cameron, good news. They're going to be in the studio for another hour today. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call. And, you know, we do our best to match our callers with a great resource from the newlife.com store. We give away around 24 books per week on the radio show. These books are also available for purchase for yourself or a loved one at newlife.com. Click store and then explore. We'll be right back here on New Life Live. God bless you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.